Hello, little royal gigglers. Welcome back to Simple Stories, Smart Kids, where fairy tales come dressed in silliness, smiles, and sparkle. Today's story is about an emperor who loved fancy clothes, but ends up walking around in his underwear. Ready for some royal fun? Let's go. Once upon a time, in a kingdom not too far away, there lived an emperor who was utterly, completely, and hopelessly in love with clothes. Not just any clothes, mind you, but the finest, shiniest, most extravagant outfits that glittered like the stars in the night sky. His wardrobe was so vast that it could probably fit a whole family of elephants, and every morning he would stand in front of a giant mirror, admiring himself in a new ensemble. The emperor's motto was, "Why wear one splendid outfit when you can wear 10? Now, this emperor had a peculiar little habit. He would often stroll through the town, showing off his latest fashion statements, and the townspeople would cheer and clap, even if the clothing was nothing more than a simple tunic. They knew that if they didn't praise him, they might find themselves on the receiving end of his royal frown, which could dim the sun itself. So, day after day, they would shout, "Your Majesty, you look splendid! That color really brings out your royal nose." One sunny morning, two clever swindlers, who were expert tailors and had heard of the emperor's obsession, arrived in the kingdom. They had a plan that was as grand as the emperor's wardrobe. They claimed to possess the ability to weave the most magical fabric in the world, an invisible cloth that only the wisest and most deserving people could see. "Oh, your Majesty will be the first to wear this magnificent garment," they declared, rubbing their hands together with glee. Curious, the emperor summoned the tailors to his palace. They arrived with a great flourish, carrying nothing but empty looms and a lot of hot air. "Your Majesty," they proclaimed, "we will create a suit so magnificent that it will dazzle all who gaze upon it. But first, we must have a hefty sum for our services, of course." The emperor, his eyes sparkling with excitement at the thought of a new outfit, happily agreed and handed over a mountain of gold coins. The swindlers set up shop in a lavish room in the palace, pretending to work diligently. They made a great show of measuring and cutting, all while the emperor watched, eagerly tapping his foot. But as the days passed, the emperor began to wonder, "Where is this magical fabric? I see nothing at all." The tailors, sensing his confusion, quickly reassured him. "Ah, your Majesty, you must understand. The cloth is so exquisite that only the wisest and most deserving can see it. If you cannot see it, it simply means you are not wise enough." The emperor, being a rather proud man, didn't want to appear foolish in front of his subjects. "Of course I can see it," he declared, feigning admiration as he stared into the empty loom. "It is truly magnificent." Word spread quickly throughout the kingdom. The townspeople, eager to please their emperor, lined up outside the palace to catch a glimpse of the new suit. But when they arrived, they too saw nothing. "Oh, what a splendid outfit!" they exclaimed, nodding vigorously. "The colors, the patterns, it's simply breathtaking." And so, the emperor, the townspeople, and even the royal advisors pretended to see the invisible clothes. They didn't want to be thought of as foolish or unworthy. The tailors, meanwhile, were having the time of their lives, chuckling to themselves as they continued their charade. They even had the audacity to ask the emperor for more gold to add extra sparkle to the invisible fabric, which he willingly provided. Finally, the day of the grand unveiling arrived. The emperor decided to wear his new outfit for a royal parade through the town. He strutted down the streets, his head held high, feeling as regal as a peacock. The townspeople cheered and clapped, shouting, "Long live the emperor! Look at his magnificent new clothes!" But as he paraded through the streets, a small child, no more than 5 years old, stood at the edge of the crowd, staring up at the emperor with wide eyes. The child's mouth dropped open, and after a moment of silence, he shouted, "But he's not wearing anything at all!" The crowd gasped. The emperor froze, his face turning a shade of crimson that could rival the ripest tomato. Could it be true? Had he been fooled? He glanced down, half expecting to see a dazzling suit, but alas, there was nothing but his royal belly, which jiggled like jelly with every step. Suddenly, laughter erupted from the crowd. The townspeople, who had been pretending all along, burst into fits of giggles. "He's right!" they exclaimed, pointing and laughing. "The emperor is wearing nothing but his royal underpants." Realizing he had been duped, the emperor felt a mixture of embarrassment and anger. But as he looked around at the laughter and joy his blunder had caused, something strange happened. He began to chuckle himself. Perhaps it was a little silly to take himself so seriously. With a twinkle in his eye, the emperor raised his hands and proclaimed, "Indeed, I am wearing nothing at all. But look how happy we all are." The crowd cheered, and the laughter echoed through the streets. From that day on, the emperor learned to embrace his silliness, and even wore his invisible clothes proudly, reminding everyone that sometimes it's okay to be a little foolish. And so, the emperor continued to stroll through the kingdom, his head held high, wearing his invisible outfit with a smile. The townspeople, no longer afraid to speak their minds, joined him in laughter and joy. The kingdom thrived, filled with happiness, and the emperor discovered that the best clothes of all were the ones that made everyone smile. And that, dear friends, is the story of how the emperor learned that true wisdom often comes wrapped in a giggle. And sometimes, the best outfit is simply a light heart. Wasn't that a silly royal adventure? Moral of the story? Always be honest, even if it means telling the truth in your tiny voice. And don't fall for fake fashion. If this story made you giggle, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Simple Stories, Smart Kids, and share it with your royal friends and little truth tellers. See you next time for more tales with truth, laughs, and a touch of magic.